Welcome to Musings with Chelsea and Angie.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Angie.
What's up, guys? We are going to talk about Star Wars. Just a little bit about like the movies, the episodes, kind of the order to watch it, what we thought about them. A lot of people have seen them. They've got their own views on them. Again, we're only going to talk about the shows and movies, not necessarily the books and everything else that everybody else has. Just strictly about those. Just us chit-chatting.
And what is to come, what has been announced.
Yes, because there was a lot of announcements over the weekend.
Yes. So, you start off in a galaxy far, far away. With episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
So, this one came out in 1999. It was a good start off to the series. It's longing, but it takes you to where you need to be for the rest of the episodes.
It is a little slow. There's not a lot of pew 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 action. There is some action in it, but it is slow because they spent a lot of time on, I think, character development. And set up this next 2 movies.
Yes, absolutely. And, they got in there. They did a good job as far as, to me personally, I loved all the actors. I think they did great. Like you said, the story was slow, but it gets up in there. And it gets you really geared up for episode 2, which is Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
Sorry.
But that does lead into the cartoon series, The Clone Wars.
Yes. So going into episode 2, which is Attack of the Clones, you're seeing the development of the clones. You're seeing
the discovery of the clones.
Yes, the discovery, how they make them, who placed the order, which is very awkward and stuff like that, because you're really trying to figure out the plot of it, which some people, they may have already known, but again, for people that haven't and go straight to the movies to watch, that's what you're developing to find out what wars are to come.
You also see a not grown up, but a teenage, maybe 20-ish Anakin.
Young. Just young, but not a child.
And, quote, love story between Anakin and Padme, which it was gross.
When you're doing a series like this, romance is probably hard to put in there. 4, 5, and 6 did a good job of putting the romance in there without making it too awkward, even though there was some awkwardness, but you know what I mean, which we'll talk about later. But it had to be put in there because that was part of the development to get to where we needed to get to.
I think it was ooky because it was in a compressed amount. It was in this one movie.
Yes.
And
there wasn't like where you could tell there was time built between them and growth and all that. But
which is why I like this series, the Clone Wars, because you get a little bit more of their back and forth and kind of how
relationship versus diving right into that, which the Clone Wars is really starting in the middle, not really necessarily the middle, but in the middle of episode 2 to seeing the relationship. Obviously, they're married by the end of the episode 2. Sorry, spoiler alert.
They see each other at the beginning of the movie and are like, oh, it's been so long since I've seen you. And he's like, I'm in love with you, hubba hubba, ooga eyes. And then, 2 hours later, they're married. And I think because of the compressed time, I know they had to do it, but it did not feel organic. It felt...
Yes, and you weren't really attached to the characters yet.
Right.
That was the other part. You were attached to Anakin and Obi-Wan, obviously, because of their companionship and the way they act is very brotherly automatically. And so you got that feeling. But them two and their relationship, it really was kind of offset. You get these little clips like the dinner and them frolicking and the green area.
Yeah, but when he just says some ooky comment off the hand, and you're just like, ugh,
Yeah.
that was ooky.
Yeah, not about making it awkward.
Yeah.
So then that falls into, like you said, the cartoon series, The Clone War, which I love the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely loved it. Yes, it's a cartoon series. We've got that.
You get to meet individual clones and learn their personalities
And get attachments to
yes,
them.
and they go through different series. Like some of the ones that were in the Clone Wars are in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, so you see those, and that's what I like, and you get to see the little backgrounds. You get to learn a little bit about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you're like, okay, I can see why he's like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to see Anakin and his rebellious side, and you're like, yeah, nope, that's definitely the teenager that you just want to slap against the wall sometimes.
And you also, they introduce Ahsoka Tano.
Yes, which now you kind of see why technically got an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
Without the title of master, but he was called master, so
And she's a very popular character.
yes, she is. I thoroughly enjoyed her. She bounced off of Anakin's character very very well as a friendship and stuff like that, and being very close.
Plus you didn't really get to see any female Jedi.
Correct. She was kind of like the first that we really got to get established with.
Yeah.
And then of course you get to find out how they get their lightsabers and all this. You get to find out a lot of stuff that you have questions about between episode 1 and 2 that will probably be explained with the news that just came out earlier this week, which we'll talk about later. But you get to see some of that, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So kind of going on with that. So that series in itself was great. I got upset when they stopped it halfway through, because it originally premiered in 2008, and then they never finished it. So luckily Disney picked it up and finished it.
Yeah.
So yay,
Well,
Disney.
Disney bought the entire
Star Wars.
thing.
Yes.
So, yeah.
But it was nice that they finished it, because it was driving me crazy.
I also liked that between 2 and 3, it's like 2-hour movie, and then you're like, I wonder what happened
in between.
So you get all these little side stories,
Yes.
and oh yeah, okay, so this is how he hung out with Palpatine for this mission and this mission, and
you get to see where they probably started getting their relationship, because when you get into episode 3, which is Revenge of the Sith,
and Anakin's a little snotty,
yes,
whiny,
entitled,
yes,
all about me. You see that they have a relationship, and it makes you wonder, like, well, how'd they get so close? How'd they get so fast? And stuff like that. And I think that's what the cartoon series is trying, or these little mini series are trying to fill in.
Yeah.
The unknown that was probably explained in books and comics and everything else, or storyboard talks and stuff like that. So it's nice that we're finally getting to see it. Really glad they finished.
So
all
basically,
that.
between Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and if you put the Clone Wars in there, it seems like a more full-bodied, fleshed-out story.
Yes, it definitely develops. It's like, best way I can say it's kind of like, like the Harry Potter series. You've got your basis book, and that was kind of like episodes 1, 2, and 3 kind of put together as a large set of books, saying, okay, here's how the story started, now I'm going to show you what's going from there.
Yeah.
And it was great that they kind of put that all together, because Revenge of the Sith, like you said, we get to see Palpatine kind of
Spoiler alert, he turned, you find out he's the Emperor. Ooh, haha.
Yep. And, you get to see the fall of the Republic, the Jedi. Anakin, Mr. Low Ground.
Yeah.
See him try to save everybody, and he's got this entitlement of, I'm going to try to save Padme, because it's all about Padme, and that he uses that as the reasoning when he's the cause of it. And in doing so, we lose a character. We lose Padme.
He also, lest we forgot, killed all the little younglings.
Yes, but we realize later on that there was a youngling that got away that we have to find out about.
But still, for him to say, I'm trying to save my family.
You killed somebody else's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, luckily, Luke and Leia got secretly stashed away, and they're safe with Obi-Wan and, oh my goodness, Leia's dad. Can't think of his name right now.
His last name is Organa.
Yes, so...
Jimmy Smith's character. There you go.
So that then goes into...
Is it Bail? Bail Organa?
Something like that.
Ooh, somebody's live time Google it. Google it. Google it. Google. And while she's doing that, we'll talk about another cartoon series that pops up called The Bad Batch, which is about Squad... Yay, Battle Organa. About Squad 99.
Yes.
Which is it 5? There's Hunter, Wrecker, Echo... Tech and Crosshair, I think. And they're not rejects, but they don't look like
No, there
others.
was like a default with the cloning process or something that occurred that made them the Bad Batch. But I very much enjoyed the Bad Batch, and I mean, you get introduced to them, I believe, in the last season of the Clone Wars a little bit. You see them.
I don't remember.
Because they did it. It's how it phased into the Bad Batch. They're introduced in there with the regular clones, and they're like, oh no, this is Squad 99. So yeah, so it goes into that. I really enjoyed the Bad Batch, though. I mean, it was good layout. Like I said, like we talked about the Clone Wars cartoon. It set up some more stuff for what happened after Anakin went to the dark side.
And what happened to the clones. Because if you go from episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, into A New Hope, which is, Luke and Leia.
This story,
the clones, all same height, same build, everything, same voice. But then you see A New Hope, and they're called stormtroopers, and they're different sizes. And, and I always was like, what? I thought they were all the same. I thought they were clones. Well, you find out what happened. What had happened was Squad 99 took out their chips. The chips that were in their head for Order 66, which was the one that turned them on the Jedi. Yep. There's always a flaw. And they have a little sister named Omega, and she's the one that basically said, "You have a chip in your head." Yes. So that's a definitely good series, which then will lead us to Solo, a Star Wars story, which I thought was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah. There's a lot of controversy. Some people think it's a bunch of garbage. Yeah. I liked it. You got to see why Han is Han. Yes, and you get to see how he met Chewie. Very important. Very, very important. And funny. And hilarious. And you also get to see him do the Kessel Run. Yep. That he brags about all the time. And then we get to see a Game of Thrones person in there, Emilia Clarke. You meet young Lando Calrissian. Yes, which is, you see their relationship, so you can see how over the years it stayed pretty hilarious. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it personally. Me too. So then we fall into Obi-Wan Kenobi. Disney series. Yes. I don't think there's going to be a season 2. I think it's just it said limited series. Yeah, I think it's one and done. And it was just him facing off. So he's got to protect Leia because she's a ding-dong and gets herself kidnapped But he's also protecting Luke and
trying to hide from Anakin.
And also dealing with these Inquisitors.
Yes. So the Inquisitors, whenever they introduce you to them, I'm like, oh, good Lord. What? Who came up with these people?
Sister, brother, yeah.
Yes, I'm like, what in the world is going on?
But they're in the Rebels cartoon.
Yes,
which I didn't know because I saw Obi-Wan first, and then I saw
Rebels. Yeah, so it was kind of interesting for that, and you get to see why Leia is as sassy as she is. I mean, she was sassy as a child, so it makes absolute sense that she'd be sassy as an adult. I mean, they picked a good young actress to play her very well. I was very, very excited to see Edwin McGregor and Hayden Christensen back as Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, a.k.a. Anakin. So, and I liked how they kind of put the voices back in for Anakin's part in there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very, very loved it, and I loved watching. Them battle always makes me happy, so them to put a battle in there, I was like, yes!
And you also see spatterings, the beginnings of the rebellion, and have them setting up and going against the Empire.
Dun, dun, dun. So,
and that brings us to another cartoon series, Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Which is, I think, Luke has to be at least a teenager, because when you see Obi-Wan in the cartoon, it's like the Alec Guinness old man one.
Because he was a teenager whenever A New Hope started. So I would say maybe like preteen, so between like 12 to...
Because in Rebels, their second base that they find is the one that they end up using on, what is it? Starts with a Y.
Oh, you're talking about...
the planet. It's like Yavin? Yavan? It's like Yavin 5. Hi, we're showing how nerdy we are.
Echo Base?
No, that was on, that's that frozen planet. There it is. Yavin 4.
Yes.
I was a planet off.
I enjoyed this. It was pretty good. I haven't got to finish it, unfortunately. You've beat me.
I did.
You beat me. I enjoyed kind of hearing about them. You hear a little bit more about the Mandalorians in there and stuff like that as well.
What?
The little robot.
Oh, that's Chopper.
Chopper. I loved him and his little...
He uses his little
hands,
grippers, his hands.
It's very characteristic.
And he's way more temperamental than like R2-D2. Like, you can tell what he's saying because he gets into fights with Ezra.
And then, of course, you get to... It kind of leaves it open to getting into Ahsoka. A little bit more about her.
Yes, some of the... Ahsoka shows up because she is part of the rebellion, and that's what they're doing.
They're rebels.
As Ezra is being trained by Kanan
Jarrus.
Freddie Prinze Jr. Turns out that Ezra has the Force, and he's being trained as a Jedi.
Having to find them Jedi where they can.
And Ahsoka shows up, and they showed a preview for Ahsoka, and some of the characters from Ahsoka, or from Rebels, show up on Ahsoka. So that should be pretty good. That is...
that kind of stops the section for a little bit before we get into the next set, but I mean...
Yes.
Yeah.
So... If you break it out, that is what I would consider the end of the High Republic into the beginning of the Empire.
Yes. So I would definitely, if you needed a break from Star Wars, that would be the good break right there.
Yeah.
To take a break you'll remember it. You may get a little fuzzy on some stuff, but when you get into the next set, I mean, it picks right up.
Yeah.
I think it's a great set, a great story plot to start off. It's a good first book, pretty much, if you want to call it that.
And we'll get into the next section.
All right, so now we're going to start talking about the next set of movies that kind of ready to watch, right?
Yep.
So first one right off the bat is a...
well, we're going to start off with a series.
Yes.
Andor, which is about Cassian Andor, who is at the beginning of the series, he just seems to be some smuggler. But he gets brought into the Resistance.
Smuggling them spices.
Not spices. He's been taking parts from, Rebel, Empire ships. And
okay.
that was season 1. There is going to be a season 2. It's not going to come out until, August of 24. But it's just basically going to see him further into the rebellion.
Right.
Which leads into
Rogue One. A story.
Okay. I thought Phantom Menace was kind of slow. This will put you to sleep. I hate to say it.
Yes. I get why they tried to do it. I really do. I actually went to go see this in the theaters, because it was a Star Wars movie, and I'm like, heck yeah, it's going to be good. But the storyline, it was just so drawn. Yeah. I didn't even get to finish it. I fell asleep. And I felt bad, but it did not grab my attention at all. Do I think it could be passed where you didn't have to watch it? Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But you do find out, where they get the paperwork and stuff to build the Death Star that we're going to see later on.
Yeah, when you see Mon Mothma, what is her name? Okay, we're going to go with Senator Mon Mothma. Okay.
Well, I tried.
But, when she basically tells people in the briefing room that this information came at great cost, and they were the plans to the Death Star and how to destroy it.
Correct.
So this is that.
Yes.
This is the group that went and got those plans.
Right.
So if you really care, enjoy. Otherwise, you can skip it and just go with her saying, this came at great cost.
Yes. Snoozeville, but it doesn't have a happy ending. I'll tell you that. To me, it didn't.
No, it blew, they all died.
Yep.
So I'm not spoiling anything.
Sorry.
So then, of course, Rogue One, they get the information to the rebels, and that kicks into Star Wars A New Hope.
Yes, which came out in 1977. So, like we said, 1999, backtracking, going forward. Now we're at 1977. So, the filmography and everything else is, of course, old school, but it tries to keep up.
Now, what is interesting, and what I like that they did at the very end of Rogue One, when the information was beamed up to the Armada, Darth Vader went after the ship, and they blasted off, and you see that it's Leia.
Yes.
A young Leia, yes.
Yes.
And that's basically where it picks up on A New Hope. Is him chasing after her ship.
Yep. And you get the, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah.
Ta! So, I mean, that was the exciting part of it, I thought, for me. So then you go into A New Hope, and you get to meet Luke again.
Who is are they moisture farmers?
I don't really understand what they are. I just know they're farmers. I just say, okay.
In the desert.
In the desert where nothing freaking grows.
That's why I think they're moisture farmers.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they get the blue milk.
You have issues. And, of course, Leia sends these droids to find Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Which have been through the entire seasons, episode 1, 2, 3.
Cartoons, blah, blah, blah.
All
you
that.
know that Obi-Wan is on Tatooine watching over this punk kid.
Yes, and here comes these 2 droids that were supposed to be wiped of memory, so they don't know who they originally belonged to, but they're back.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that, oh boy, this used to be your dad and your mom's robots,
Mm-hmm.
and they're coming to you. And so that was kind of cool to see that and have them come in and tell them, oh no, Leia's in trouble. You know, have a message for Obi-Wan to come save her again. How many times he got to save her? How many times? So,
and then you meet Han in a bar.
You see, yep, you get to meet Han Solo. He's coming back.
And Chewie.
And Chewie. And so you're like, okay, so I know these people from the previous ones if you haven't already seen the entire series. Or if you've seen it and you're getting the lineup, you're like, okay, I know these people. Okay, we're gearing up. We know who the main characters are now. And yeah, we go to find Leia. So.
And jump in a trash compactor.
With a snake thingy.
Yeah. Then you go into Empire Strikes Back and you meet Lando Calrissian.
Yes, and
again,
and you're getting to meet not only him, you're getting to meet Yoda. A much
Luke,
older Yoda.
And Luke starts his training.
Jedi training.
Yeah.
And there is a lot compacted into that episode, I believe. Just from that to the romance building up between Leia and Han, and
Luke is thrown in there.
Luke
because at the
gets thrown
time
in
you
there.
don't know.
You don't know.
You're
don't.
like, ooh, she's in a triangle.
Yep. Oh boy.
At the end, Han gets frozen in
I
carbonite.
love you. I know.
Yeah.
The most famous words any person, you would never think those words would be famous, but they made them famous in that movie. I love you. I know. And trust me, it's on shirts and everything else all over. If you type in Star Wars and I know, it pops up everywhere on merchandise and stuff like that. It's hilarious. So definitely a Valentine's Day gift to give to somebody. But, and you get to find out, dun dun dun, who Luke's daddy is, 'cause he didn't know.
Well, why would he?
I know, but it's the dramatic
Yeah.
effect.
So, yeah, Luke finds out that Darth Vader, not his real name, is his dad.
AKA Daddy-O.
And the end of the episode. Dun dun dun. Because
Yes.
he goes into a back to tank because he has to get a new hand.
Yes, which is funny because if you look at it from the perspective, his dad had to undergo the same in...
Not as...
No, but I'm talking about... Because in...
Oh, yeah.
Episode 2, he loses his arm.
Yeah, to Count Dooku.
Yes.
Because he's an idiot and didn't listen to Obi-Wan Kenobi when he said, no, don't. And he did, and look what happened. He had dum-dum. Dum-dum don't listen.
Yes. So then that gears up for Return of the Jedi, Episode 6.
Yes. And a lot of stuff happens at the beginning. They're trying to get Han out of carbonite.
Carbonite, yes.
Leia gets captured and put in that horrible...
Again.
Shut up.
Meet Jabba.
Jabba and that annoying
The Hutt
little...
peoples again.
That annoying little preacher thing that goes... and then they go out to the desert and, well, Luke comes back all...
We're back on Tatooine.
Jedi'd up.
Yes.
And they're going to drop them in that... I don't remember what it's called. This crooky hole with the teeth.
The pit.
Which is important because Boba Fett ends up falling in there. But does he die? Oh no. Because you find out later he survived.
Da da da. Yeah, so there's that, and then you get to meet the
Ewoks,
the cutie little pies and stuff, and we get to see
find out that Luke and Leia are
brother and sister. And they shared a sweet kiss.
Darth Vader takes Luke to meet Palpatine, or the Emperor, or whatever, to turn him to the dark side, but it turns out that Luke turns Darth back to the good because he's protecting his son, and he's able to die and, be able to be one with the Force.
Be the chosen one.
Well, not really. But
not really, but yeah. Look, we can hope.
Yeah. So then that basically ends because the Palpatine's dead.
Yeah.
Well, he threw him down a doohickey, a reactor doohickey. I know. Shush. He threw him down a doohickey.
Yes.
And
he's dead.
Darth Vader died.
Yes.
So the Empire, you would think, gone.
So
which it technically is.
Yes, and in the remastered episode
I didn't watch
6,
it. Didn't watch it.
They were able to actually put Anakin's true form in the spirits at the end. I thought that was great.
Oh, you mean Hayden Christensen? Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to know what he looked like beforehand. Okay, and that guy that they had in there, I don't even remember what he looked like.
Yeah.
So I know what he looked like. He's pretty.
So, the Empire is Kashputz.
Yes.
And then, that's when you would pick up with the series The Mandalorian.
Ooh. And it is good. It is good. It is good.
It has to be several years after, because they're trying to set up a new republic.
They're trying to build everything back together.
Yes.
And all this other good stuff. And, you get to meet a young little Jedi named Grogu.
Who survived the
massacre
that,
at the temple in episode.
Anakin went all wackadoo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill me out, eater, Jedi.
Yep. Nope. One got away.
Mm-hmm.
And he is
the same species as
yes.
Yoda.
Yes.
But he is not Yoda.
Everybody calls him Baby Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but his name is Grogu. And it is so adorable. So, the Mandalorian series, gotta watch it. I've watched every single episode. I absolutely loved it. There's not one episode I think I've somewhat disliked at all.
That one with the doctor, that was kind of...
This latest one, yeah, but I think they did that for the next section that we're probably going to dive in on. Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Pershing and how they rehabilitate Imperial...
Yes,
yeah.
Dr. Rice Cakes Man. Or whatever cracker he liked.
MRE things.
Yes. The rice cake.
And then you have the Book of Boba Fett.
Where you get to see... Which he actually shows up in The Mandalorian before the Book of Boba Fett really goes in, but it really started somewhere in there. But
about the same time, because he has to hang out with the Tusken Raider people.
Yes. But you get to find out that he survived episode 6, which is cool too.
I want to say it's a Scarlax. I don't remember. The something pit.
Yes.
I can't remember.
But and really, we see Boba in episode 2 as a young child.
Yes.
So he's been there throughout. So I mean,
he's a little jerk in episode 2.
Yeah, he's a little brat. So, but
it's my daddy.
But he's throughout. I mean, he's been there quite a bit. He's like one of the OGs, if you will. He is the OG.
But he is not a Mandalorian, even though he wears Mandalorian armor. He apparently did a favor to the Mandalorians, and they gave him armor.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, now the Book of Boba Fett, there's only one season? 2?
Right now, there's one. I don't...
Yes.
I would assume that there's going to be a second one, but I could be wrong because, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, it may go into The Mandalorian again. I don't know. But it was a good series for the first season. I I enjoyed it. You kind of get to see Boba rise out of the ashes, and he's not that brat that we met in episode 2 anymore. He's actually a pretty good dude.
There are also Mandalorian parts that you need to see, or else when you start season 3, you'll be like, wait a minute, where'd he get this ship? You'll be confused.
Yes. So it's definitely important to watch it. So, and then that goes into Star Wars Resistance, which is a cartoon series.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
So, and I had a hard time trying to watch it for the simple fact that the cartoon reminded me of...
Don't you say anime, because I love me some anime.
Not anime, but Transformers. It looks like the way that they drew the characters, it looks like the Transformers cartoon series, and I enjoyed that. And this one, I watched like 2 episodes, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I'm going to try again, but I had to struggle with it.
Okay, so Star Wars Resistance.
So that one I really didn't watch. I had a hard time trying to watch it.
I will try. I don't think there's anything on today, so I'll watch my new episode of The Mandalorian, and then I'll kick into the Star Wars Resistance.
I don't know. So this came out in 2018. I don't know, the way that they made it into the cartoon, the way they drew them and stuff like that, it didn't capture me. But like I said, I watched a couple episodes because I do remember him and his little sassy, the main...
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Christopher Sean's character, Kazuda. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I just couldn't. So, but it does...
Well, that's what I thought about Andor. And then I, watched the first one, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe. I do have a complaint because why are there 12 episodes of Andor and only we only get 8 episodes per season of The Mandalorian? That seems like a bunch of bull.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. That really ends that
section.
Section again, because the Resistance will feed into where we get into episodes 7, 8, and 9. And
which, because they're, again, building the New Republic, thinking everything's going to be okay, ha ha ha, not knowing that something's coming.
Something's being brewed. Or technically has. It was in the making.
Yeah.
It was already in the making. That leads into episode 7, The Force Awakens. Da, da, da.
Which I don't know the time span from the Republic falling, not the Republic, the Empire falling to now.
And which that may be in the Resistance that we need to
watch. Oh, what does it say?
30 years after the defeat of the Galactic Empire, the galaxy faces a new threat.
Okay, which is...
Kylo Ren.
Well, okay.
But
he
can't get there yet.
No, it is the First Order, which is basically the remnants of the Galactic Empire.
And you have some new characters and some old ones. We have new characters, Rey, which is a young woman that is experiencing some Jedi ability.
No, not until she ends up on that planet.
Right.
She ends up where she ends up because of BB-8.
Correct.
Yes.
Which BB-8 has some information carrying. Oh, go figure.
Yeah.
It's a R2-D2 in the remake. You get Princess Leia back as General Leia. Mm-hmm. You get Harrison Ford's character back, Mr. Han Solo.
And Chewie.
Mm-hmm. And you even see C-3PO in there.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the gang is kind of back together-ish. And you have the new threat, as they call Kylo Ren,
who is Ben Solo,
aka Han and
Leia's baby.
Yes, you learn that what's going on, and basically Rey is going on an adventure. Mm-hmm. Kind of.
She has the Force.
Yes, there's something about her that strikes odd, and Kylo senses it, but doesn't really understand what the heck she is, or
yeah, I don't understand that well either.
I don't either. That's why we need these cartoon episodes in between.
I'm like,
It's like 1, 2, and 3 all over again. I need to know.
I mean, because it's not like there aren't other people in the galaxy that have the Force, so why is he drawn to her?
I don't know. Is it the prophecy coming back again?
No.
From the very beginning?
Bunch of weirdo.
Or a new prophecy? I don't know. So
anyway,
it kind of leaves off where Rave goes in search
of Luke,
and
because she needs somebody to train her because she don't know squat.
Because at this point, Luke has
mysteriously he disappeared. Well, not mysteriously. He failed at
doing something.
At teaching Kylo Ren, and
a.k.a. Ben Solo.
Then he blamed himself, and
he went hiding.
He left.
Drinking the moon juice.
Don't forget Finn.
Oh yes, Finn.
He is hysterical.
He is a character. I like him.
What is it? FN2 something?
Something like that.
Which is how he got his name, because he's a stormtrooper. And you finally get to see what a stormtrooper looks like under their little thingy, because you normally don't see them take their...
Not often, and put your mask back on. And then, of course, I absolutely loved... There was another Game of Thrones character in that
Gwendolyn
series.
Christie, yeah.
She plays the silver stormtrooper lady. I can't think of her name.
Phantasm...
Yes. Oh... Why me?
Google, because you have the computer right in front of you.
I know.
Dingle. You also meet... Yeah, they are literally stormtroopers.
And we get to see Poe again.
Yeah.
Oh, and we get to see the Harry Potter guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Ron Weasley's brother. He's in there.
Yeah, and they're literally wearing stormtrooper outfits.
Again.
So, yeah. I don't know why they just didn't call themselves...
Where's my homegirl? Captain Phasma,
yeah.
Yeah.
So in The Last Jedi, she finds Luke, and he's like, no, I ain't teaching you. So she basically bugs him through half the movie to teach her. While Finn and Rose, who was a mechanic?
Yes, she was a mechanic.
I don't remember what they went off to do. They had to meet Benicio del Toro and see those cute little running doodad horsey things.
Yes.
With the long ears.
And you get to see the coin. Rebellion. Remember, they have the little hope.
Oh, yeah, right. I think they needed codes. They needed some kind of code to get to stop that zapper thing.
Yes, they're on a mission for Leia.
They're on a mission. So he finally teaches.
He's finally teaching on her and stuff like that.
Then at the big battle at the end, Luke basically uses the Force to
project himself.
But it's more than project, because it's like a full form kind of...
It's some
voodoo Jedi,
some super stuff. Jedi master tricks.
But he drains him and he passes away. Rest
in peace.
Back into the Force.
So, we get there with that, and also after this one actually came out, that's when Carrie Fisher's character passed away.
Well, no, Carrie Fisher passed away.
Yes, Carrie Fisher passed away.
But they had already filmed her part.
Her part for Rise of Skywalker, which is episode 9, which was great. I'm glad they were able to record her. And
I thought you were about to say the movie was great. No, it wasn't. It was not good at all. I did not like it.
I didn't hate it.
It was kind of stupid.
Look, I was not expecting left field.
A bunch of Palpatines.
But look, there was
a gaggle of Palpatines.
Look, there's more crap going on between Kylo and Rey.
Which again, I don't understand.
There's missing pieces. Like, I need to know. I need to know.
They're going to find some planet where the something is.
Discovered the evil Empire Palpatine did not die at the hands of Darth Vader.
Yeah, but they're going to the planet. They need this map thing to go to this.
It's a
planet.
Star thing. It's a little triangle.
Anyway, you find out that Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine, and her parents got schmurtled because they wouldn't tell Palpatine where Rey was. And back in The Mandalorian, when they took the Grogu, they were using his blood to try to make clones because they're stupid and didn't have any forethought to say, oh, maybe we shouldn't kill the Kaminoans who built all the clones. They're so stupid. So that Dr. Pershing guy was taking Grogu's blood, trying to make Palpatine clones, which I guess he did, but not all that great. Not like Kaminoan standard. So I didn't really watch the end because Palpatine is a goon.
So I did, and like I said, remember that whole thing where I'm wrapped about Rey and
look, he saved her.
He did.
When she should have just died.
But she saved him in, was it the last? No, it was in episode 9. It was in the early beginning of it, where they're on the little old ship in the water and crap like that.
That wasn't at the beginning. That was at the end, because that is the planet that they were looking for.
No. They were after the star.
We're gonna fight. Anyway, the point is...
Don't make me Google it.
She should have died instead of Kylo Ren. But he used his Force powers to bring her back to life, which I think is stupid. So anyway, she goes to Tatooine, buries the two, what do you call them?
That battle.
Whatever.
Before he gets hurt. She saves him first. I told you.
Yeah, but she should have died. Because she started to get on my nerves. Then she buries the lightsabers, and somebody says, oh, what's your name? And she says, Rey. And they're like, what's your last name? And she's like, Skywalker. Which is stupid because she's not related to them anyway.
Well, I'm wondering something, though.
They're not related.
I know they're not related, but hear me out.
Oh, my God.
Hear me out. You know they're going to figure something out. And here's Chelsea's crazy theory is when they did the whole grab the hand and they...
Why are you touching me?
To help her live and him die, and he gave all of his everything to him. And maybe she got pregnant and she became a Skywalker. We don't know. Don't look at me like that. It could have happened.
He's not even a Skywalker.
Yes, he is.
He's a Solo.
But he has Skywalker blood.
Doesn't count.
Still got Skywalker blood.
Why you gotta bring Jesus into this? That's not how this works. I wasn't even all that thrilled about that whole Shmi thing. I did not have relations with a man. The baby just happened. Yeah, whatever, lady. That's what you want to say. Making Anakin sound like he's Jesus Christos. No, sir.
Well, there's some storylines that people were talking about that somehow Palpatine could be related to the Skywalker, to Anakin.
But I don't know.
Again, this is all hearsay, people's opinions on stuff that I've heard. You know, people going down the rabbit hole and stuff like that, which we try to stay away from, but it happens. So, could it? Don't know. Maybe, possibility. Who knows? Who cares?
I don't like how they ended.
You know, we do see something important in the last episode when he's doing this thing and saving
you mean
her.
Saving her.
Saving her.
Stupid. Did I mention it? Stupid. While you're Googling, there were 3 movies that were announced at the Star Wars Celebration. The first one is going to go back to the dawn of the Jedi and basically how they discovered the Force, how they learned to use it, which is not the Force. Basically, it's midichlorians. And I guess somebody's going to realize, hey, I got these metachlorian thing. Weird. The second one is going to focus on the New Republic, and that's going to be after the Return of the Jedi, but before Force Awakens. So, like, within that, what is it, 50 years, you said? 35?
Yes, 35,
whatever.
50
like
years.
In there with the Mandalorian time-ish.
Yes.
And the third one is after the Rise of Skywalker, which is a crappy movie, about Rey setting up a new Jedi Order.
Right. Which, again, in Return of the... or Rise of the Skywalker, when she takes Leia's and Luke's lightsabers and buries them, and she has two.
Why does Leia have a star?
Because she was training with Luke with the Jedi stuff, and then she had the baby.
Wasn't she kind of old?
They show previews in it in the episode 8 or episode 9. No, episode 9. No, episode 8. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's one of the two. Either the end of episode 8 or beginning of episode 9.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah.
But anyway, what's important is she had two lightsabers, and they end up being yellow. And if you know anything about the history of the Star Wars, history of the Jedi, or anything else like that, the Jedi Temple Guards wielded the double-bladed sabers that were yellow. They were very limited.
Ding Dong would know that if Ding Dong watched Star Wars Rebels.
See? There you go. You can get me on it. I told you I will watch
Why are
it.
Ahsoka's white?
So, that had to do with...
I know she left.
She left because if you remember, her sabers were not that color.
No, she had a saber, and it was green, I think.
Well, she had two. She had the big one and she always had two. So whenever, because I think that limited Jedi Temple stuff and them having two sabers was kind of faded out, but the yellow was the. So yes, so them announcing that this weekend, that the two movies confirmed for sure. That are in production, but there's two in production. The third one is not in production yet, correct? That's the way I understood it. Don't they? So, yeah, two new Star Wars films are going into production and has been announced, with more details revealing the third one to follow the series of the Lucas films outside of Rise of the Skywalker. So, yes, there's two in that one. And, yeah, they're all three confirmed. 2 are already in production. Woohoo! So, excitement. And
that still did not explain the big deal about her burying the damn lightsabers.
I think we'll find out.
She's gonna now she's gonna have to go. Now she's gonna have to go dig them out, and they're gonna have all jammed up with the Kylorian crystal thing. She's gonna have to clean that stuff out, nice and going.
Look,
doofus.
I really hope
doofus.
With Disney having, all these shows that are coming out, series and stuff that they're putting on Disney Plus, and everybody's watching them. I hope they add more to what we talked about. How 7, 8, 9, there's so much stuff that I think is in between, and we really need to know, and you need to make a series in there. I don't know what you call it, the in-betweens or something. We need to know more. Yeah. There needs to be more information, and hopefully we get that. I mean, I'm still excited. We've got more Star Wars. Saga continues in the world of Star Wars. I'm happy about that. So, yay. Excitement. Yeah, I mean,
that is our deep dive breakout into the Star Wars. I'm not going to say universe because it's not really. It's a galaxy. It's confined to a galaxy.
Yes, the galaxy of Star Wars.
Yes,
we'll go that way. Next time we'll bring up some other things. I mean, let us know what you guys thought about this podcast. In the comments, email us.
Any suggestions on what we should watch? I'm starting to watch. Well, I'm watching the second season of Schmigadoon. Schmigadoon.
What?
Yeah, Schmigadoon. Now I just like saying it. Schmigadoon.
So, and I just finished the limited series The Night Agent.
Oh, I'm also watching Narcos. Okay, I'm reading Narcos because it's mostly in Spanish and me no habla español.
Well, we'll get there eventually.
Oh my gosh.
So, but yeah, I mean, we'll hit up another episode here soon. And
Yep.
I hope you guys enjoy. Also, we have a TikTok page that we're going to be pushing out now that will have like a little clip of our episode release. Share it with your friends. And yeah, subscribe to us. Follow us on TikTok as we proceed on with this journey of our podcast. Da, da, da. So I guess until next time, we'll chat with you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.